Hey guys, just an attempt to go live straight through YouTube without using my app. I haven't had much luck posting videos recently using my new camera. For some reason I can't get the videos out of the app. So I'm going to try just directly live streaming, so that will be extra crude. Hey Daryl, hey Connor. Boy, this flies by, it's hard to see. But what I just wanted to share is that I picked up, hey Thomas, I went to our, hey Susie, I attended our East Tennessee fish tuber meetup today, and met lots of good people that were there. Of course, I know Fish Room Fever already. Knew Chattanooga Ed, Rack was there. Hey Candy. Hey Scott, trying to think who else. Hey Maria, hey Peplin Creek. Tiffany was there and Ginger. They came from Nashville together. But toward the end of the event, the people I had, hey Darlene, they decided they have a coral business that they wanted to go look at some coral other stores. So we did, and I saw this fish that I had seen a week ago when I was over in Knoxville. And thank you, Scott. Hey, Paul. Hey, Tavion. Hey. And I researched it and had the people at the store researching it, because like a lot of puffers, like your green spotted and emerald and those kind of things, it says freshwater to brackish. And so I researched and couldn't find anything different than that. Hey, Carrie. But, I like to go ahead and acclimate to salt when I can, and I've got several spotted puffers here. That little guy's one. And they really do well in the salt, much better than the freshwater. And I just didn't want to run brackish tank for one fish. So this is the guy here, and he's pretty unusual looking. He's a little bit bigger than my Linus, my little dog face. Hang on. Hey, Fish'em. Hey, Andy. Where did he go? He got away from me. They're, of course, wanting to eat. It's that time. So here's Linus, and he's the biggest puffer in this tank right now. So there's the comparison. They're about the same size. Actually, Linus is a little heavier than him. But anyway, the puffer, the new one, bit through his bag on the way home, and most of his water had leaked out, so I had to pour him in here real quick. I didn't want to go ahead and make up brackish water, so I made it half and half, and I've got him about 3/4 now. The yellow one with the blue trimming. Oh, Candy, you know all my fish, and you know some, I think you're talking about that guy. That one. That's a Queen Angel, and it's a little unique in that one of my puffers, see on its top streamer, it has a second streamer down below. A puffer bit it there, and that's how it grew back, and it's continuing to grow. But it's a Queen Angel, and they're pretty, can be, hey Cole, they can be pretty aggressive fish, and this is definitely the tank boss. This guy here, the squirrel fish, sorry for that glare, they kind of vie for control, but it's an uneasy truce. Hey Lily, thank you. Oh, thanks for speaking, and sorry to worry you. I just have been having trouble with this new phone and didn't put out anything, and I still am, so So that's why I'm live streaming. I've got several videos in the can, but I can't get them out of my app for some reason, but I'm working on it. I know, right, Michael? I bet you want one. Yeah. Hey, James. Yeah, I still can't get this videos out of my phone, so this is my next option. So anyway, this is a puffer that I got over at the place that we met up after the meetup today, and it's the one, I was trying for so long, James, to find out if it was salt water. On the way home, it chewed its bag open, had a little bit of water left, so I had to go ahead and mix it. Eyes are too big, not ugly enough. So I'm gonna let this guy out. He's been probably 2 hours in here, and he really, really wants out. And he was real active in his tank there in Knoxville. And these fish can be, the literature says that they can be, yeah, it's doing well. I think it's doing fine. It's in pure salt water now. I'm loving this camera. Shows all the red algae really well. He's a real good eater, and he's a big pet. They said he'd been there at the store a long time. Yeah, well, he saw me today for a long time, looking at him and waiting to find out if he could be a saltwater fish, and no one knew, and they researched like I did, so he is now. He was in with figure 8 puffers, so he was tolerating them. I'm about to mix up some food. This will focus. This is Snowflake Fugu. I think I called him a Fugu, but there's his, sorry. You know me, shaky. So that's all I wanted to do, was just introduce this fish and get him home. And James, funny thing, I'm gonna turn this lamp off. Funny thing, I was gonna get those, here we go. Those, I think it's doing pretty good, especially for the user. Gosh, I need all the help I can get, right? Was gonna get those something gold neon tetras. Those were really cool, and I think I wanted all of them. And when I got home and looked at all of my bags and began to float them in the appropriate tank. I had 4 bags between the 2 stores. They had given me silver tip tetras, which is okay. I have a whole bunch of those, a tank of them with killifish. So I'm just gonna put them in there. But hopefully I may call Kenny tomorrow and see if he'll save some for me. Yeah, because the silver tips are gold, and I was getting out of 2 tanks, and he asked somebody else to help, and it was an easy mistake. And I should have looked at the fish before I left, but how many of us do that? So, hey, Carrie. No, but they'll be my silver tips that have never spawned, and I've had like a couple of years. They'll be glad. I'm kind of trying to keep an eye on him back there. This tank is filthy, and I'm actually doing water changes right now and mixing water for this tank. I've got all the other tanks done except this one, so that's why I wanted to go ahead and let him out. Hey, Moonstone, thanks. Yeah, and guys, I still need those watch hours. I'm starting to get a little down about that. Oh yeah, he's always excellent. And the people that were with me were my local fish store owners, and they're specializing in corals now. And they were really impressed with the store. And Zach has known Kenny for a long time and has gone up to get things from him over the years. So, but yeah, I need watch time, guys. Keep showing them and you'll keep watching. Aqua Balls, you always have a great menu. Yeah, I took a good look at it, Candy, and I'm only just now at 2,000, so I'm only halfway there, so I don't know um, if it's going to even be possible. I appreciate that, James. I'm afraid they're going to be gone. They were pretty cool, and I was surprised they were there. Somebody else was looking at them, maybe Ginger, I don't know who. Um, but anyway, I'm sure he'll be getting more in, but I'd never seen gold neon tetras, so they were really cool. They had blue eyes too, but no problem at all. Yeah, he'll make it right, no problem. So I'm glad to have the tetras as well. Oh wow, Chris, if I only needed that many more hours, I need 2,091. So I don't know if the fish fam can pull that out or if I should continue to try to get them. I mean, I'd like to be monetized, as we all would, but we'll see. All right. Anybody have any questions or comments or, and guys, I was going to tell you, you know how shy and I don't know if unprofessional, but kind of rough and unpolished my videos are, and they're just vlogs. I do try to slip in a little teaching and a little knowledge, but I'm not really an educational channel. Hey, Recon. Hey, great to see you. Thank you. I hope so, Chris, because I would like to be, and everybody worked so hard the last month, especially to get me to that 1,000, and I think I'm at like 1,300 already now, so it's continuing to go up. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you, Candy. Yeah, if you want to, James, that would be great, because if he's not going to have them anymore, you know me, I always want something cool and new, and when I read about them, I thought, wow, they'll go in my my smaller rainbow tank with my cardinals and stuff. So, hey, Pam. But what was I saying? Oh, I was saying that I'm going to start doing a little bit of live streaming. If you guys want to watch, that would be great. I see there are 36 people in here, which really surprises me. People must be bored and want to have something on. Got it. I did know that, Michael, and that's why I have a well-known addiction to plecos as well as Cory cats. So I'm not a pleco expert like you are, but I do know what I like, and I get those. So never did ID that one that you and Tom at TM Aquatics were looking at that day that they were saying was oh, I can't even remember. But I never have identified that pleco, but still have it. But I am gonna, it's a baby, that's Linus. Real's actually named Linus because he's a line puffer. And he's looking a little frantic about something here. Uh-oh. And I see what that is. That's, this guy's fighting him. That's not gonna be. Yeah, that was in the literature. I've never had these guys, but I'm not going to have him. He's after the little puffers too, so it's just a puffer thing. I'll watch him real close. No, he's getting after some of my nice fish now. Yeah, he is. I'm going to watch him, but I may have to give him some time out. I've got one of those nice big square mesh baskets that clips on the side, and he might need an evening in there. If I feed them too, he might settle down some. So I'll do that as soon as I get off here. Where was I? Live streams. And yeah, I'm going to be doing a couple of live streams with people. A couple of people have asked me, and I've really thought about that. And, you know, I am really shy and insecure on camera, and like a lot of us are, it gives me some anxiety. Just talking about it does. Wow. But yeah, I need to overcome that, and need to do some streams with people, so I'll be doing 3 of those that I know in the near future, so. And I know they'll be fine. Just kind of getting everybody stirred up. He's really hungry, and you can see that he's not that well fed. It's not the people, James, it's me. So it'll work out. You know, I'm safe with you guys, and it'll be fine. I might make a fool of myself like I do a lot of times, but they're fine, Brandon. The dogs are asleep, and evidently they can't hear me. So I was away from them most of the day to be at the meetup, so I was glad to get home and spend some time with them and get them taken care of. Yeah, it is, Carrie, but you know, we're always our own worst enemies. Uh-oh, the squirrel fish said no. Let me show you something. I'll show you how it's done. So I'm just watching this. Sometimes it works out, but you know, that's whoa, that's a very strong fish. You know, it can, hey, FNS. It can easily bite off a fin or a chunk out of another fish, so these guys seem to be staying out of the way. I don't see my line puffer, but I suspect he's found him a safe haven. He knows the rocks in here very well, and the caves and all that, and there are lots of them. Oh, is that Bob Steenfott? Hey, Bob. The other Bob. Have you had this puffer before, Bob? It's a Fugu, F-U-G-U. Ah, the Queen Angel. Give him a nip. It's this guy right here. And he's technically brackish, but yeah, he's brackish to fresh, but you know how that goes. So I've acclimated him over the past couple of hours to sod, and he's doing well in it, but that honestly might be, nope, not monetized. Don't have the hours yet, Moonstone. That's what we were talking about earlier. I still need lots of hours. Yeah, I'm always at yours, Michael. I don't know why the other Bob doesn't. Jeez, this camera really picks up the algae great. Can you guys hear me okay? I'm just curious. Okay, thanks, Carrie. Well, I should have prepared some frozen food before I started this. I have a couple, a couple of their favorites of dry things over here, but I don't know if the puffer's accustomed to that. He's going up top, so maybe. Oh, that's why you quit, Mike? Okay. What's a good reason? He's definitely showing favoritism, right? All right. Things seem to have settled down a little bit. So I'm gonna shake us up here and see what foods I can get floating in here. You think they know I'm gonna feed them. I don't feed, and yes, I do feed. Hey, Jesse, I do feed both freshwater preparations and saltwater, sorry, to my fish. If you look at your ingredients, and I do feed good quality foods, they really enjoy the switch up and the change up, and that's one of the things that most often gets me busted or people criticize me for, but that's the tetratropical color granules that Lucas is not promoted by, but you might hear them popping those, and they don't eat those very often, or they're not offered very often. But that's what I've got right here that I can give them. Susie leaving. Yeah, that squirrelfish is just big enough to eat chromis and damsels, and I begin to miss some fish, newer fish. So anything smaller than these guys, I'm growing out some fish. Thanks, Lumpy Dog. Thanks, Jeff. Anything smaller than these guys are literally his food. So I have some I'm growing out right now in a smaller tank to move over here. And of course, I have a couple of other show tanks. Is Bearded Bob here? Wow. It really is. I don't know, this guy doesn't seem to really know about pellets. Sorry. So I made sure they were directly over him, and he did not get any. So they have all that up there now. Hey, guy, where'd you go? You're such a handsome thing. Diva suggested I name him Char, so after her, so that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I'm still looking for the other little puffer. Yeah, there's plenty of food above him up there. I think they've probably got him addicted to bloodworms. And whatever he really needs to put a little weight on. It's coloring back up. Wow, almost 25 minutes. Anytime you guys want me to stop this, I will. It was basically just to introduce this fish. Hey, Dr. Black. Hey, William. Wow, he doesn't like that sailfin at all. Keep it on all night for you? All right. I wish I had a little way to leave it on them and run and mix some food. I don't want you guys to have to see that or go through that. So let's see if I can. Nope, that's not there, is it? All right. I'll be back in 2 minutes. All right, sorry about that. I did wake the dogs up. Hey, Diva. Let's see, I'm showing your namesake, but being a little aggressive, so I've gone to get food. It looks like while I was gone, he found the pellets. Cool. Feeding him some tetra granules. Where is he? He's in the corner back there, Diva, in the dark. Hey, Sandy. Thanks for coming. Hey, Mark. It's the Fugu. I think I called it Pugu in Funk's live stream. Food is a great equalizer, huh? He is right now, Fish Dreams, but he's been kind of naughty for a little bit here. But I think he's just really hungry. Diva, I'll show his sticker in a second again. He probably isn't used to pellets. I've got some jumbo bloodworms, the thick ones, and some jumbo krill here. So that'll win over any puffer. Where'd he go? He's biting on them. Yeah, he really might. He's already been after Linus, my little sweet dog face. The squirrelfish doesn't care for him, and squirrelfish is giving it back to him. But I don't want them fighting. Oh, he found a bunch of pellets now. While he's doing that, I'm going to let him go ahead and eat some, but I am going to give him some frozen food because I know at the aquarium where I got him, they go around with like one of the old-fashioned ketchup or mustard squeeze bottles, which is smart because you don't have to use a pipette or anything between tanks, and you can just squirt what you want straight in. I'm almost to that point. Dang. I start looking at other fish and forget what I'm supposed to be looking at. Easily distracted. I would like to see the other little puffer. I'm sure he's okay. I had said in a video a couple weeks ago that I wanted to get some more of these yellowhead gobies, and I've got two. I've got one in here that's smaller that lives at the other end and keeps the sand mixed up over there, and then one in my 40 breeder. So, hey guy. Hey, I've been looking at you for a long time. You be nice and get along. You don't have to fight for food in here. Now, has anybody ever kept one? Apparently they're not the rarest puffer, but they're not that common. There you go, Diva. Wow. Snowflake, Fugu puffer. All right. Well, when I was trying to research whether he could be all salt, and I never did find that out definitively, that was a very good price. I saw them as expensive as $80. All right, here we go with some jumbo bloodworms. So, yeah, all of this has got everybody excited in here. If he doesn't injure anybody, he'll soon figure out that, there we go, there's a big bloodworm. Guys, if you all don't use the jumbo or haven't seen those, they're just hikari and they're just thicker. They're what you want your bloodworms to be. Uh-oh, Mr. B must have said something bad. You know how he can be. I see somebody I need to pull out and quarantine. Oh, I'm kidding you. Hey, Ed, how's it going? Yeah, there are a lot of bored people on Sunday night, so the puffer I got had chewed through his bag, Ed, and I kind of had to go ahead and make him salt water. So he's doing well so far. Trying to give him some bloodworms, and yes, they're Hikari. The package, they look just like the others, except they say jumbo bloodworms and not bloodworms. Oh, Candy, you're too good to me, I'll tell you that, but I think you know that. All right, I've got some jumbo krill, and I'm gonna go ahead and put in a couple of whole ones. Usually that squirrelfish will take one, and the queen angel will take one. But no one took that one. There's a big red leg hermit crab in here. In fact, there it is lurking down there. Yeah, well, there's a big krill. There he goes. Yay. Yay. Good boy. Wow. He is just famished. Look at that. He acted really hungry in the store. He kept going back and forth and back and forth. Yeah, exactly. I'm feeding them. It's time for these fish to eat anyway, but I was about to do a water change. I've got their salt water circulating in the pan it's in, and but I want to go ahead and feed them, but I had to go ahead and get this guy. But yeah, it is to divert some of the aggression, and you know, it's just like with kids or dogs especially are great with food or a treat to give them something else to focus on. And I'm thinking that he's just really hungry and he's scared. All the fish that were in the tank with him before were figure eights and a couple of small, yep, pull up a chair, sit down, Joe. They were smaller fish. Can't remember what else. What are the fish, the archer fish? But they were small. Oh, he's starting to show a little belly, but he's still actively looking for food. So I've got plenty of good stuff here. It's also time to feed the dogs soon. I do the fish first. Get that piece there. Yay. I see one of the chromas has some discoloration on it, and I bet that's probably a fungal thing. So I'll be pulling it out and then doing the 50% water change they get every Sunday night. If that guy goes by again, I'll show him to you if you haven't already noticed him. But I'll probably use some copper to treat that guy and just get right to it. Candy, I learned not to fool around with some of the freshwater medicines that I'm accustomed to that copper really does, like for marine ick and things. It's that promise there. He's acting fine, but you can see he's discolored on his, right in front of his dorsum there. All right. Uh-oh, he found him some more krill. I won't treat this whole tank. because there are lots of inverts in here, and I have some coral that I'm hoping to put back in here. Stuff that's safe for these guys that tastes nasty and smells bad. So hopefully they won't bother it. Ed, I haven't watched much of the live stream today from the meetup, but you were just over there being Mr. Ed McMahon, and you were a great host from what I could see and hear. I can say I knew you when, huh? Yeah, he was, James. That whole event was awesome. And I don't think I ever told anybody except the people I was with. I didn't eat because I'm just really having a fit with my blood sugar. And I find that I can get it almost normal if I fast all day for like 22 hours. So I didn't dare get into any of that stuff. So, but I did get a vid of all these YouTubers that were having a nice lunch and conversation. All right, things have settled down a little bit. Wow, look at Linus here. He doesn't even look like the same fish. He's the dog-faced puffer with the lines on it. His color has totally changed. He's eating though. So he's picking there. He's a good eater, so maybe the other guy will leave him alone when he comes out. And guys, I haven't done an update. Hey Reels, that's Linus there that you named. He's discolored right now because I've introduced a new puffer here that I've never kept before, and there he goes. It's a Fugu, and he was really scared. And he's still after him. He doesn't like Linus, probably because he's a puffer his size. But he honestly was getting along with the figure eights he was with today. He's still actively looking for food. I started to say I haven't given an update on this 180 tank because there's really nothing going on over there. I'm still trying to sink wood. Hang on. And also it's got a bacteria bloom. It's dark on this end because there's a lot of big wood floating up there. Cue the wood jokes. Fish are all doing great. They had a water change last night. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Brandon. You know, he's been in that store for weeks. And this is the one I'm hand feeding. It's found him a spot down there in the rocks. One of the ones I'm hand feeding. Let's see, where's our beautiful, handsome guy? There he is back there. This water's already... I've got an order out to Dan's Fish that should be here Tuesday. And some of the fish in it, there are 18 fish, 5 different species. But some of them are little geophagus to go in here. That's my biggest Tapaho. There's a little one. I've got 3 little ones, and there's the biggest one. But I've ordered some other geophagus, and then some smaller fish. The rainbow cichlids are still trying to spawn, but they have not. I had shown you all a spot. There's the other male down here. One has a spot down here, and one has a spot down here. That's the other male, and there's the female, which is actually their mom, and she's not spawning anywhere. Yeah, I knew you would, Chris. Yeah. These are my babies. I raised all of these from nickel and quarter size tiny, tiny babies. So this is the one that I had in a 55 with just other tetras and stuff. What did that say? He says little ship better, and he ain't wrong. Did you get some? Yes, I did. I did. Yeah, I'll be really glad when this bacterial bloom is over and I can do some aquascaping. I don't know if you guys saw, I'm sure you did, Scott King and Queen Cichlids, Scott's video maybe a month ago about going to Hobby Lobby and getting some awesome plants. Oh my God, I went there a couple of weeks ago and you wouldn't believe all the awesome things they have for aquariums. I spent over $100, guys. Well, I did get stuff to put in the blue tongue skinks habitat as well, but I have not done either of those projects, so I plan to get it done. Ouch. That was my step stool that I have to stand on to clean. I got some more of these little keyhole cichlids. Got several of those. Elite cichlids. I'll check that out, Candy. This one here that's the biggest male in the tank and the boss of the tank, and that's the one that spawned. Fish are still beat up, Chris, from having their tank rupture, a few weeks ago. And Michael's, yeah. Joanne's, I didn't think about that. I'll check that out too. We have a Joanne's here. But yeah, all this wood floating. Really, Carrie, that good? Guys, look, you little beggars. Well, it's time for them to eat. But yeah, I have keyhole cichlids coming, like 4 or 5 of those. But I'm anxious to get it landscaped, somewhat aquascaped. Here's my poor female. Thanks, Chewy. That gorgeous male that we were looking at, the Hecklei, over there, back there in the murk. Yeah, I know. I'm wanting y'all to bring the wood jokes on. That guy was actually raised. Got him when he was tiny, and another one. The other one, I'm not sure, remember what happened to him, but was raised to be the mate to this fish here, and she got some 180, Jesse. She got some. Yeah, she's hanging in there. You remember Zen, Jan? Thank you. Some swim bladder issues apparently. Now she can get up and swim around, and when I put food in there, you'll see how active she can get, but she really wants nothing to do with him, so I don't know how that's going to work out. I'm just giving some time, but I may end up, and I may have even, if Dan has them, I may have even ordered a couple from him, but I don't think I did because I want to let this work out. Thank you, Brandon. But it's a 180, Jesse, so what did James do now? Let's see, at least Bob doesn't lose his wood like Ed. I don't know anything about Ed's wood. So I paid like $600 for this, Jesse, and I went over to Nashville to pick it up. I got it at a little place. I've got the card, I'll have to look. But I had ordered a plexiglass or whatever it is, like my 125 over there, except bigger, a 180, and it was over $2,000. He did, I'll trust you on that, James. And when I saw I could save $1,400, I canceled the shipment of that other one. Carrie, I'm hoping, I'm not trying to challenge anybody, it's just, it hardly ever moves. I was at 1.6, I think. There's one of the Synodontis. I've got a couple of Synodontis in here, and they get feisty. Those geos love to tease that big one. I did know what species they were, but I got this guy for $10. Can you believe it? The place that I go over to visit Lolly, the one-stop pet shop. Sure, whatever you want to see, Chewy. I don't know if the dogs will be quiet if I go in there, but I need to get over there and check on that puffer. Anyway, he had this fish there with some goldfish, and someone had brought it in. And you know, that's a $40 or $50 fish. You swipe texting on a cracked screen. All right. I think I've lost track of that. That's what I'm thinking it is, reels, but I really don't know my Synodontis because I've not kept them until recently. So I have to learn them for sure. He is cool. And then I've got one that's not that big. Sorry guys, I forget, and this is almost running for me. Looks like we're okay, and Linus is up and about. Sorry about that. Hey Melvin, great to see you here. I appreciate it. Linus is back up, and he's got his little line showing again, so maybe Char has backed off a little bit now that he's got a little belly. This guy knows I'm in the room. Where's that other catfish? There it is. It's laid up right there. Check this one out, Reels. It's pretty cool too. Tidal filters. You know they are, James. And another thing I forgot to get, they're 110s. Another thing I forgot, Zach is gonna make me a piece of plexiglass to fit this custom. These are the two pieces, you know, that I got last week while I was up there. They work perfect and fit these two sections, but there's no way I can put a third one here because of the filters, and this is just one of the parts off of the old tank. It doesn't want to, oh, I've got lights on it, that's why. So that's another dark spot there. So that'll be great when I can get rid of this, but I don't want to risk them jumping. And that's off of a 10 there, but it helps keep the water in. And I've also got a wave maker over there. Yeah, me too, but I can't remember where Zach works, where his daytime, his real job is, and but he can do things like that. So, and I think he's going to do a top for that circular tank, you know, the day we were all over at the little place, JKS, I guess. And I gave that tank to Ed, but his fish keep jumping out, so I mentioned that, Ed, to Zach, and he said, oh, sure, he just needs to know the size. Hey, Deborah. There it is. Yeah, they know it's time, and they know I'm in here. So, yeah, I'll be sorry again for the way this tank looks. It's just everything thrown in here that came out of theirs. And you see that I'm doing Father Fish's thick substrate, but I've got another 50-pound bag, and I think I'm going to add it or most of it to here, because that's not 4 inches in some places anymore. The Severums, of course, move it around, and the Geos sift it all the time. Ed, if you'll let me know the measurements of that tank, I guess the circumference or the width or whatever. He said no problem. Let's see what's going on over here. There's my friend. There's my friend. Yeah, he wants me to feed him some more, don't you? He's fast. All right. Looks like they've cleaned up everything I put in here. Squirrelfish got one of those pieces, so that's great. Got both of them. All right. Seems like he's not as hungry, but yeah, he's still going after it. I'm going to feed him as long as he'll eat. You know, puffers are kind of like Severums, in that they're fish that stuff themselves, they gorge themselves. So it is easy to overfeed them, but they can tolerate being stuffed a little bit. You just can't do that every day. But I want to see a little more belly on him. Ah, he's finding it there. But he obviously hadn't eaten like this. Melvin, who are you talking to? Catch me up. Yeah, he is, Candy. Has anybody heard of these? That is pool filter sand. It is, Diva. He mentioned another sand. These comments. Another sand, and I can't remember the name of it. It's just pool filter sand. Yeah, I heard him say something too, but I don't remember. But he knows that I use pool filter, and he said that's fine. So I want to see him with Linus again. You know, sometimes a good offense is there's Linus. And Linus is staying out of his way and watching him. I'm a little optimistic. Linus is eating. See him back there? That time he went right over him and didn't see him or didn't notice him. So this is going very, very, very well. Did I say very 3 times? All right, guys, this has been 55 minutes almost. I can't believe there are 50 people on here. I use pool filter sand, works great for me. Yeah, that's what's over here in this 180. This tank doesn't feel warm, but it's hard to tell. It says it's 78, 79. Oh, Deborah, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Carrie. What was the question? Carrie, it's okay. Chat runs by fast. I'll figure it out. I'm looking now. Go ahead and ask. I'll try to be on the lookout here. Get some bloodworms out for the smaller guys. Yeah, if you keep it in landscape mode, you can hardly see. It's like 2 comments and then they roll up. But if you put it in portrait, but who wants to watch, a live stream in portrait mode? So. Giving him some bloodworms, yeah, because I'm sure that's what he's been in. Okay, well then, sure, do you think LEDs add much heat to the tank? I do not. For one thing, heat rises, and for instance, these, God, don't look at the top of this mess, the algae. For one thing, they're above the canopy, so it's not going to go down in there, and 2, heat rises, like I said, so no, I don't. Most good lights don't have a lot of heat to them. Now I have some of those cheaper lights, and they do get hot, but I really don't think they add any heat that you can have to worry about or hope to count on. So I know having 30 tanks in here and all but 2 of them having heaters. That's right, Ed. Not Ed, James. I agree. And I've not had that yet. But I mean, I've been running my air conditioning the last few days, and with it 40 outside because these tanks. Yeah. Oh, really, Candy? Man, that's a mess. You need to clean that up. Trying to get some bloodworms. There we go. Here we go, guys. Yeah, well, I'm just so used to people apologizing for algae and this and that, and I always think, that's what mine look like. So just trying to comply. And these lids, by the way, I've got this one slid over. There were lights that come with this. I'm trying to remember. Somebody else had a Fajaka, but I think he lost it after it jumped out a couple of times. I can't remember who that is. Who is that, guys? Thanks, Melvin. Appreciate it. Anyway, I think he has this same tank, but a little smaller. No, it's one of the other plexiglass I have. It's not this one. But the lights that came with this were such poor quality. But these inserts here really went to that. But I gave the lights away. I took them to the local fish store, and they have a giveaway box that people are welcome to take. So I put them in there, and they were gone in a few minutes. But they just weren't going to work with this tank. So I went ahead and got some nice Aqueon, and they're not on timers, but they're remote, so that really helps. I just can't keep that finger out of there. I'm sorry. All right, let's hear the jokes. Do I have any gobies? Yeah, Ed. I love those yellowhead or gold heads. I got one in Atlanta and it didn't make it. Aw, poor Linus. Here he comes. I know. Uh-oh, here comes look at this. He's still wanting food. Makes you want to pet him, but I like keeping all the meat on my fingers. Nope, definitely not. They're getting along okay, Reels. My Fajaka, she's a big girl now, about 9.5 or 10 inches, but I got her a year ago, and she was with, I guess, a sibling, and she picked on the other one, so I got her. Yeah, it's really cool, Jesse. It's almost like butterflies or something. Well, it looks like things have settled down considerably in here, but I'm going to continue to monitor this. Yeah, that squirrelfish is serious, and when the lights go out, these fish all go down and hide. That's when you see the big eyes, and that's for nighttime hunting. So, oh, thanks Against the Flow. Yeah, I'm not saying anything of any real value or anything. I'm just playing with my new phone camera, and I keep hitting the volume. I don't know if I'm turning us down or up or whatever. Oh, definitely, yeah. People that start small, start out harder, but 60 in the stream. I can't believe that. A lot of bored people on Sunday night, but hey, I've got to do my work, so I appreciate the company. I've moved over here to start feeding these guys a little. What can I do with that finger? I need it, but this camera has the buttons in different spots than my old camera had, so there we go. Wow, these lids really made a difference in evaporation. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, William. You guys are so nice. I appreciate it. All right, come on, buddy. Oops, showing my feet probably. Come on, buddy. Come on. Come on. Of course, the other fish know that he's blind, and he wasn't always, and I don't know what happened that made him blind and changed his color. I wish someone would know. That one got by him, but the catfish got it. Trying to get it. There's the other Cynodontis. He wants that, but one of the Severums got it. I think that's the wrong name. No. Usually he comes right up. Thanks, Brandon. I've got bite marks all over my forearm. I was showing them at the meetup today. And it's from this guy right here. He sneaks up on me and bites me. And I don't know why, but come on. There we go. Come on. Gotta get this. Oh, man. Usually he's turned around the other way. So let me make some more noise and... No, Leah, this is a 180. Yeah, you know, I've got that other pair of Severums that one of them's blind, and it stays at the top a lot begging for food. So, of course, I can't feed it all that. It doesn't, Matthew, because I've got 2 Tidal 110s on it, and I've got so much media in there. They've got huge media baskets, as you can see. And check out my pre-filter sponges. So it really doesn't. And I've got a thick, right, exactly, all the rock and the very thick substrate, which is where most of the bacteria is anyway, not the media. So no, yes, there is a huge bio load, and I overfeed all my tanks. I love to keep my fish pretty and fat, and but I keep their water clean and their parameters great. So let's see, these little guys found what the catfish didn't eat. There comes the other cat. I'm really wanting this guy to come on out so I can get him his first piece of food. Trying to, come on. Wow. They're all getting his food. He can't see it at all, so. Well. Surely he can smell it, so. I do it every Saturday. A lot against the flow. I'm just now right at 2,000, so I'm only like halfway there. Sorry. I'm gonna have to get me one of those little phone holders. Yeah, Anthony, you've missed over an hour of this same scenario. Those guys will settle down. Last night when it was so late and I was doing that just live stream test to see if I could stream, I was surprised that you guys started coming on there, and I'm like, oh my God. I was in bed, obviously, so I just went away or just shut it down. It worked, so. But yeah, Matthew, you can see the bio load, just the chunks and chunks of food. And this is just really like an appetizer for these guys. I just wanted to get some food in the saltwater tank over here. They would, and I've got them, but he can't see them. And a couple of times he's nicked his lips a couple of times, so I try not to use them. He usually, look at this. He got it. You see that? He got it that time. So usually he turns the other way and sticks his face out. Now, he comes out and swims all around. He knows the tank. Some of the other fish pick at him. They know he's blind, but No, I don't. Fish are well fed and they eat several kinds of food twice a day. So yeah, it's a huge bio load, and many people would say that there's no reason to do it, but you know, that's why they look like they do. And you see none of them are thin. They're still banged up from the tank breaking they were in. Leah, the other one is with a mated pair, and that's why, look at that guy's colors. That's why they're not in here, because I think it would really stress them out. No skinny fish. I thought about that, but I don't want to separate that pair. They're still bonded, and they haven't spawned since she had Popeye and lost one of her eyes. And the other one, she may be able to see shadows and stuff, but very, very limited vision. She can't see food or anything. I have to touch it to her lips like this guy had to feel it. So, oh, I don't want to forget this girl over here. This lady, this pretty lady, Chihuahua. Close this door, see if it helps us a little bit. Come on, cats. Come on. No? All right. I usually put her food upstream a bit here, and remember I just invited the cat in. Now she moved her foot now. She's trying to open the door, but she doesn't want me to see her do it. So, I'll see if any of this stuff gets over there. There we go. Look at those colors. Here she comes. There she goes. $65 people, who knew? Does anybody else have any questions? Or thank you, Candy. Yeah, if I had to say one fish, I've got a few favorites, but these Jurapari Geos right there, how do you beat that right there? I mean, that's gorgeous, but these are even banged up. I've got 3 of those in here. These 2 are buddied up. I hope they're gonna pair. These fish are only about half grown. I know, right? And there's the third one, the bigger one. But these fish are, that one's maybe 7 inches. What is it you're not going to get, Mandy? I'm trying to keep up, but I want to make sure everybody eats too. Yep. You guys have a watch club going. Yeah, those spangles, incredible. And I know Chris loves these guys right here, as I do as well. Yeah, the blind one was like these, the color from one tank to another. Get back there. I need to move. I would do it as close as you can. I mean, don't chase and chase. Jessica is my answer. It is important because you don't want to add any more stress. And another thing you can consider is if of course you're going to go to a smaller tank, is pulling the water out of the tank you're taking the fish out of and stocking the tank with that. So some people don't like to do that, but That way you don't stress and you match it, so. Oh, a glow beta. Yeah, I know I was teasing you about that. Did you see, someone did a great video on that Matthew, I forget Matthew's last name. He's got a great channel, and we're sub to each other. There's that word. And he did a video about one, and I shared it, Brandon, to FishTubers notifications. It was a really, really good video with a lot of good information in there, and he hadn't been able to find anything that proves that the lighting causes them any eye problem. I don't know, Jesse. It was expensive, and they're selling all this stuff. Hey, Susan, welcome. We're just rambling per usual, but doing it live and feeding fish and keeping an eye on my new puffer because he was really scared and acting out in the tank. But I think he's going to be fine. He's over in the salt water. Yeah. Oh yeah, Chewy. They're pricey. But yeah, Matthew did a really great video. He got a female, and I've heard they only come in green now. Somebody else that I sub to has a pair of them, so they're beautiful. I mean, they are. Like a king. And you see what I'm doing, that's why it takes me. Okay, we got plenty of chunks in there. They will clean all that up, but as long as I stand here, they'll stand here and beg for more, or they'll swim here and beg for more. All right. I need to see if the blind one came out. Here comes the cleanup crew. Yes, I've already ordered them from Dan, among other fish. Well, there goes another one. I didn't intend that. See, they're already down there getting the stuff up. They seem to know when I'm going to stop, so. Tibby, can you not get it open? Huh? You guys have got my door smudgy, dirty down there from playing there, pushing it. Is your sister on the other side? I think she is. Wow, look at Tibby. Look at Tibby. Yeah, look at Tibby. Yeah, Tibby's been scratching up my new cabinet here. It doesn't have the Lexan that closes on it yet. It's being made, but so he's scratching it there. These guys congregate on this end. This end faces right into the kitchen and a little breakfast room back there. And of course, there are lots of tanks back that way. But I'll go by and they'll be all looking at over here. They'll be looking for me, I guess. I don't know. All right, speaking of looking for me, that's the new guy, Susan, and it's named after Char, so I asked for names and she gave him her name. Clean and hang on backs. Well, I guess something good came out of this. If it inspired you to clean hang on backs, I could use a lot of help with that myself. Really, for $1? He's super skinny, and he's eating till he's about to pop. That's what he is. That was his sticker. Man, I'm so shaky. He's a brackish water, and I couldn't either research and find out if he could go into salt. And he chewed his bag up and just had a little water when he got here, Susan, so I didn't have any choice really but to start putting him in salt. But he's doing fine, obviously, and I'm glad, because I don't want one fish in the 60s. I was around then, but I guess in 65 I was 9, and I wasn't keeping betas then. It was still guppies and that kind of stuff. Yeah, he's ready for dessert. Oh, the filter pulled it over there, so one of the fish that's more familiar with that, I mean the wave maker, got several pieces stuck to it. We'll get it off. Later, Thomas, thank you. Where did you find it at? You got a link, Mandy? Because I would love to read more about him. Most of what I could find was just from sites that, had them for sale. Wow. Yeah, he and that squirrelfish are going to have a, look at that. They keep clashing. I think he's too full to eat anymore. He just wants the food to be his. Matthew, if you're still there, see I've got titles here as well. These are two 55s, and then I've got a 35 I added later when as you say, the bio load went up and I started getting some nitrates above 20. Ed, there's one of my yellowhead or goldhead gobies. It was peeking out back there. There he is, looking around. And there's Linus. Are you going to be okay? That fish doesn't seem interested in you anymore. Poor guy. Yeah. You look all stressed out. That's Linus. Yeah, Reels named him. How long have I kept fish, Cole? Oh my God, I'm 64. And when I was 7 for Christmas, I got a 5-gallon tank and some things to go with it, like a little corner box filter and an air pump and net and that kind of stuff. They didn't have the kits back then. And that was kind of an expensive gift for my family back then. So what is that? 50 something years. Well, he's eating though, at least, so I think he's feeling a little better. But yeah, his color's still 57 years. So I guess next Christmas, it'll be 58 years. A long time is the answer, Cole. And things have changed so much that I tell people like Father Fish, that's who taught me to keep fish, because he would have been in college then. So that's the generation that taught me to keep fish. So a lot of the things he talks about, I haven't been doing a lot of them for maybe 20 or 30 years, but that's exactly, Moonstone. Exactly. I thought that too, the color. Older fish keepers and their experience in the hobby. I don't know why, but it makes me want to hear what you older guys have to say about the topic. Well, I guarantee you none of us know everything, and I certainly am no Father Fish. And I'm learning a lot from him and remembering a lot, but I do remember it. So hey, Dr. X, I'm a cool boss. Most people don't know I'm your boss, Ed, but I appreciate it. Bob's only 32, and keeping fish made me look like this. Yeah. I have never, ever specialized in keeping any kind of fish. And I never kept saltwater cold till just over a year ago. that I started thinking, and you hear it so hard and so expensive, and it's not. You can make it that way if you want to, but a lot of these fish in here cost, all of those little green chromas cost $5.99. Some of the clowns are 2 for $20. There's my other yellowhead goby Ed. That's my new one. Dr. X. Also the damsels. I love damsels. A lot of people don't because they're little hellions. They're like little gangsters. But I love the Talbots and that little yellow one right in the center. They don't school well and they don't seem to like each other, but I have 3 of those and I want to get more. They're like $9 fish. I mean, yeah, Melvin does have a 180. I need to take down some of my smaller tanks so I don't have the workload that I have, but sorry. Trying to see what Cole's saying. Just got them in the tank and the YouTube video. I'll be looking for that, Cole. Awesome. Have you seen my endlers, the Santa Maria? Those came from Dan's Fish. I haven't been culling those very heavily, but they're some gorgeous, gorgeous endlers. And mine just really went crazy. That squirrelfish, I don't know a whole lot about it, Carrie, and a lot of people call them something else, and I don't know generic names or scientific names. Chewy probably does know this. He does know quite a bit about, yeah, that's awesome, Cole. But I have his Santa Marias, and I mean, I literally have hundreds of them. But I just want to hoard them for a while. There's another one of those little Talbot damsels back there. There's another one. And those bluefish are damsels. All these fish are under $10, under $8. There's some of the neons. Those are new, and they're changing color. The dark ones hiding in the coral, those are really cool. I remember Jess really liked those when I first got them. Jess Shrimp Granny. Guys, gonna breed the blue stars with black bars. I'll call black bar and black star antlers. Oh, that sounds cool. Awesome. But yeah, I have some expensive and really nice guppies. I have Luke Roebuck's red Delta tails, and that's actually, I say that the Jurapari are my favorite, but as far as those little live bears, those fish, you can't beat them. I mean, for their pedigree. And Doug Gray, who's an IFGA breeder, spent 10 years, literally 10 years, bringing those guppies back up to thanks, Recon. Anyway, he sells them on Aquabid. They're kind of hard to get from him, but I got a couple of pairs, and they've really been pretty prolific. But there's no way that I could, see, I got off topic, didn't I? No way that I could part with those. And then I also have his blue. I knew you were going to say that, Chewy. Those dogs will bark like crazy. I won't be able to talk. Soldier fish. Thank you, James. Yeah. Soldier fish is what they're also called. But the scientific name for them, I don't have a clue. Hey, Victor. Great to see you. Thank you for coming. What did that say? Doug, though, goat. What does goat mean? It's awful to get old and not be in the loop, I'll tell you guys. There's Linus. Tibby, is it time for you to eat too? We're just now feeding the fish. Yeah, I know. You know a lot about saltwater, James. A lot. And you have a saltwater tank too. Yeah, he still has a tank. I tried to give him a blue cleaner wrasse, but he said he was afraid something would eat it. And I think I said I really wouldn't care that much. It's in my 40 and it picks on my puffers in there. It bites them on the back. Oh, okay. Yeah, I agree. Doug is awesome. Yeah, Doug is awesome. He's the real deal. Returneth to, I don't think I can say that with my Tennessee twang. Returneth to. It's kind of funny that I have thought about a snowflake eel, but I hear so many people get them and they don't put them in the appropriate, with the appropriate stock or the appropriate tank. And hey, Ro, yeah, glad to know you made it home. Oh yeah. Funk was asking me in his stream, I asked him if I need a place to stay when I come to the ALA in Florida, but I'm not really going. I can't go right now. But he said, yeah, and that he and I would go out and party and get into all kinds of things. And I told him that I had to stay out of trouble, that you almost got arrested today. I never did ask you what that lady was telling you. She thought you put your finger in that Waru tank or something. I didn't ever ask you what that was about, but I heard you telling her, no, I didn't do that or something. So I was teasing, saying I had to behave because I had a brush with jail today. I heard her, and I was over there, trying to research this guy right around the corner, and I kind of walked toward the front entrance. I thought if the lights come up and the police come in and the whistles, I'll be near the entrance. Just been putting the new puffer in, Ro, and it was very aggressive. It really was aggressive, not assertive. That aggressive word is misused a lot. Like I don't think that fish that are spawning and have a territory, that's not aggressive behavior. They're just being assertive and asserting their right to their territory. There's a big difference between true aggression and assertiveness, and I think fish get tagged as aggressive when it's really not an aggressive behavior. And he really wasn't being aggressive. He just was scared to death. All the fish that were in the tank with him were smaller than him. And he particularly went after my dog face in here that's a little bigger than him. But he's eating a ton of food and he's begging me for more, which I have right here. So let me let him have a little more. Oh, I'm almost out. He's eating a bunch of food. I wonder, oh, he found a piece. I wonder, and I'm not going to let him get close to my finger, trust me. I've been bitten by a couple of puffers accidentally, and let me tell you, they have sharp beaks. All right, he sees my hand. I'm right there in the tank. But I want to make sure he gets this piece. It's the last piece. Here we go. The last piece I have thawed. Hey, look here. Nope. Nope. I can't keep that finger up there. Cue the jokes. There you go. He didn't get it. So we get story rows. Yeah. I wish you'd been there today, Nathan. It was a great turnout, and it was really a fun time. Taylor's Aquatics. Oh, I hate this scroll. Do you like having those pre-filters? Oh yeah, yeah. They increase your beneficial bacteria. Plus, you don't have to clean your. Oh my gosh, you don't have to clean your media nearly as often inside the basket. You see all the stuff that's on that, but all I have to do is pull it off there and put it in a little bit of tank water and rinse it. I don't rinse them clear at all. I'm like Corey, I think you need to leave it a little dirty. But yeah, I couldn't have nearly this many fish in here doing this well. Oh, this is something cool. The fox face. Those are his nighttime colors, his or her. It's doing like the, hey Sean. Yeah, all 30 something of mine, because I've got 2 and 3, like this one has 3 on it. Now there's a little 35, they don't have the intake tube, they just have a screen underneath. That's what the small one up there that looks like it's missing the tube. I added it just to top off what I could do. Ooh, damn sulfite. What I could do in here as far as yeah, imagine that, Corey being right. This is one of my favorite fish. Here is this hawkfish, and I forget right on cue which variation or he is, and he may be a hybrid. Well, James, are you coming to Ed's? I thought we were gonna have James come to Ed's and then Ed and James come over to meet me in Cleveland, and then we were gonna drive to Alabama and then come back and reverse it the other way. So if that's the case, if that is the way we're gonna do it, you could, yeah, so can Ro meet up with you or meet you and go with you for that leg of the trip? Anyway, this is a hawkfish, and they actually get their name just simply. A lot of the saltwater fish are named after animals. You're probably noticing that. They're slang names, which is pretty cool. Hey, Maria. But hawkfish are famous for watching you, and people will often, journal or diary about them watching TV or reading a book, and they're hawkfish watching them all the time. So they are territorial, though. But anyway, not sure what this one is, and it was one of the very last fish left when the local fish store closed down, keeping a large facility with fish in it and focused on corals. They do keep some fish, and of course I get my supplies from them generally. But this was JC that y'all met today, one of her favorite fish, and when I would look about buying him, she would always tell me that he was aggressive and he would, eat the food and, this and that, and discourage me. So I knew she liked him and wanted to keep him, but when it came down to it, she, wanted to go ahead and let him go. So I got him. So when they come over, like they were here today twice around the trip, so she gets to see him. Here he is. He's into everything. Well, Recon, try those filters. They're usually just a couple of $3 or $4. And I kind of run like a medium coarseness. That's not the word I want. You guys know what the lingo is, but Corey has that one that's isn't as tight, that has the bigger pores or whatever in it. And these are kind of a medium, but you see how not cloudy, but the particles in this tank. One reason is because I did clean some algae. You're like, where? Porosity. Thank you, James. Exactly. I did clean some algae off the front of this tank just because it was so bad last night. Yep, PPI. You guys are so smart. Tibby, that's not polite to interrupt. Oh, I just realized I was showing my pretty legs. Sean. Awesome. Did you check with them to make sure that lungfish is still there? You might want to go ahead and have them hold it for you. It's been there a long time, but you know how those things go. Thanks, Jesse. I appreciate it. Oh, this is only 2 tanks, Jesse. I have 28 more, so but we don't want to get into all that. What would you link? I'm trying to look back and see what you would be linking. Just a nerd. That's all it takes. Candy, I don't see what you would be linking. Oh, you want to link, but there's nothing to link. I don't know. Oh. All right, there's Linus. I'm going to start draining this tank in just a bit and get food that I won't mod her on purpose. I think the only mod I ever had was Mr. B's fishing things. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I don't think Funk ever modded me, and I was like, somebody post Candy's link up there, because he was saying post links, and I kept trying and it wouldn't post, and I'm like, duh, because you're not a mod. New life emerging from, oh yeah. Yes, I do. Not as much in here, and when these guys are asleep, I don't come in with a flashlight and stuff. But in my other tanks, I've got some nice bristle worms in there. See, I know these guys pretty well. See the fox face, it turned colors. He sleeps under that filter, so he's almost ready for lights out. I've still got to feed these small fish some more flake food and a couple of things. I did make him a mod? I don't think so. I don't think I made anybody a mod except Brandon. I used to do a lot of live streams just like this, just rambling and walking around looking at my tanks and that kind of thing. And yeah, you are. Okay. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, see, he's got a wrench, for sure. Tibby. It might have been Zen, but he needs to be modding, you know, he'll be a great moderator, so. I'm not expecting to need a moderator for anybody to show out or anything like that. You couldn't afford the bribe. Tibby, it's enough. Oh, I know how I did it. Yeah, it was accidental recon, but I'm glad you have it, so. I see how I did it now. Do you want Zen's horse blanket? He meant to block your recon, but he hit Mud instead. It could be, Pam, it could be. To add anything else to this tank, James? Not right now, no plans to. I didn't plan to add that puffer over there, but when I saw it'd been there all that time, and I really wanted to get it, but I hope it works out. It will. It'll take some time. Nope, no plans. What would you add? Oh, and I hope he doesn't bother my crabs and stuff. The other puffers don't. Thanks, Mrs. Fever. I appreciate you. I guess Candy went to bed. Yeah, you know how triggerfish can be, though. Is there such a thing as a nice trigger? It's next Sunday, a week from today, Deborah. It's not an event per se. It's Susan's group. Well, Susan, you're on here, right? Susan can tell you what it is. And we're going to visit her local fish store. Oh, does Candy have one too now? Dang. What am I doing? An emperor angel? Yeah, that would be. Those are pricey. But I don't know, James, if this other angel, look at it up there in the corners, how it's sleeping. I don't know if this other angel would like it. Good night, Maria. Blue Crew. And it's not like you guys are gonna ever have anything to do. Like James has mods, I'm one, and I've never posted, I don't think, a link or had to do anything. It's just if I'm there. I might have posted some links, but not very often. I just deleted somebody's message, Candy's. Oh, I hate the way this scrolls. Candy, I timed Candy out. Oh my God. And you can't remove that, can you? When somebody's timed out, can they still hear? I know, Pam, right? If you saw this, how little and tiny this is on this phone, and all you have to do is touch it. She knows that it don't hit the buttons, I know, but if I don't touch them, I can't see what you guys are saying. Right. Yeah. Well, that'll be a long 5 minutes. That'll be hell to pay, won't it? I know, right? For you, Ed, but I'm the one that has to explain that. When you're timed out, does anybody know if you can still hear? I know you can see. Poor Candy. Oh, she knows I don't know what I'm doing. She was timed out. The first day that Father Fish made me a mod, the first day I was volunteering at the Ark, and I was trying to do my duties there and mod, and I timed somebody out. I think it was Nessa. I think it was, yeah, Aquatic Ness. Oh my God. And she's like, what? And he said, yep, you're timed out. It didn't seem to faze him, but She sent me a message on Messenger that says, "Really, Bob, LOL." And of course, I'm not going to dare try to answer her because I'd have to close the stream and only be worse. But yeah, as comments go by, those of you that have done this on a phone, you know what I mean. They're only there for a moment, and you can only see 2 or 3, and then they scroll up. Yeah, probably Moonstone. I hope her headache's better, but you know, Candy, she's not going to do that. If there's something to do on here, she's going to be on that. So. Is it 11? Yeah, I see the time there. Yeah, I won't be on here much longer for sure. Oh my God, 107 minutes. I've never had a stream this long, that's for sure. I've never been able to keep a connection this long. Yeah, she said LOL, she knows. I'm gonna leave the buttons alone if I can, but when somebody says something that I want to see, you know, if it's a sentence or two, it's hard to read it before it rolls up. So, yeah, if there's anyone here that isn't sub to Recon, thanks, James. He is really a channel that's on the rise and a channel to watch, and he's really putting out some good videos. And yes, some of them are things that I've seen before, but he puts his own spin on it, his own experience on it. It's not a cookie cutter thing, and his videos are edited. They make sense. They're not like mine. So it's a fresh new channel. So check him out. Oh, there's Miss Dharma now. There's Miss Dharma. What are you here to complain about? Well, I mean, it's the truth's the truth. So check him out, guys. It may hurt you, Recon. They may say, "Oh my God, if Bob likes him, it's probably like Bob's channel," but that's why I was making sure people know. I think everybody in here follows you already, probably, so. Yep. Dharma, you're a mess. You're a mess, girl. What did that say? 10 p.m., 8 p.m.? Let's see how I'm doing this. Third Coast. What does that mean, Mandy? All of those messages are gone now. Recon, Carrie, I got the lighting idea from Fisher and Fever. I thought so, yeah. I recorded the whole thing and I looked at it and it was not timing is crap, and then reshot the whole thing. Midwest, Third Coast. I still don't get the connection. Oh, you don't either? I know, Candy. This is why I don't need to touch the buttons, but you know, I have to move things back down. I know, you should see the awful things. Don't scroll up. I tried to delete everything. You'll be in tears, Candy. Don't go back and read all that. I got your message that popped up too, so, but I didn't dare touch the buttons to answer you. I don't get that connection, Third Coast. Look out. That's sage advice, Pam. Oh my God, I couldn't begin to think about trying to type something in this. On a keyboard with the, I still can hear and read while time. That's what I was asking. I wasn't sure. How did I do that? I meant to mod you, of course, but I have no idea because the things to do that don't even pop up, you know, the choices, so I don't know. Sand Creek there, Ed and James, Rack, I think I was hearing talk today of already having another meetup, and Rack said, like moving it around. I think he mentioned like the aquarium in Chattanooga, Tennessee Aquarium, I guess. So I think there's already a second one of these events in the make. I know, right, James? So I'm looking forward to that. If it is in Chattanooga, wherever it's at, I want to go. But Ginger and Tiffany are over. Tiffany White, they're over at Nashville. So that kind of gets us to the middle of the state. Only two now. I subbed earlier. I'll remain a mystery. Okay. There's Linus, seeing if it's safe. Poor little thing. Yeah, that Bob, he's they call him the Velvet Hammer. They did used to call me that. Yeah, the Velvet Hammer. At work and management, I was the Velvet Hammer. History in the making. Oh, yeah, because Ed wants to see those guppies. I wouldn't mind seeing that too. Can't believe there's still 40 people in here. It got up in the 60s. I mean, I'm not one to watch numbers, but I'm thinking about, this goes toward my watch time, I believe. I'm hoping. And if anybody goes back, I don't know why they called you that. I don't either, Candy. I don't know why they called me that. If I knew, I would tell you. But I had a director tell me once, I'm a manager of 2 ICUs, and she said the staff called me the Velvet Hammer. Oh, thanks, James. I hope so. Pam was telling me a couple of days ago I need to stream, so here we are. 70 likes. Wow. Actually, it's 69, Recon, but I didn't want to say that to get them going. We've already had to go through the wood and finger jokes. Well, this one will help. They said a guppy show, Deborah. Tell us about the guppy show, Ed, or you can't get 70? Oh, please. Okay, well, with 40 or 50 people in here, if they average an hour, because we're coming up on 2, that gives me another 100 hours maybe. 72 likes. I'm afraid to try to like it myself. I guess I'll try it. Here we go. Oh, it didn't do anything. I must not be liking the right place. Ro, you were 69. I can see that. Velvet pants back in the day. Ed, that's too personal. It's a little personal. But I will tell you I did not. Victor's still here, so you guys behave. I'm looking back to see what else I've done. Yeah. I'm gonna keep an eye on them. I usually feed by midnight, so I'm still on schedule here. Where's that other? There he is. I'll have to decide whether to leave him out or not tonight. If it continues like this, I'll be okay. I just usually walk the dogs early, like 5, and then go back and sleep in, so I don't want a ruckus going on while I'm sleeping. Oh, I've got to do the water change on this tank. That's all right. I've got plenty of time. 3 to 4 hours. Yeah, you're over I know where you're at. You told me you're nearer to Memphis, but southwest of there. Um, do they let you on the bed? The dogs, as long as I stay on my side, my third. Right, Dharma? Yep. Luckily, the cats don't try to sleep there, just the dogs. Yep. See all those chromas going back in the high-D places because they know that squirrelfish goes on the hunt as soon as the lights go out, but they're not going out till I do the water change. The water's mixed and all that. The Deep South Guppy Show is in Murfreesboro. Oh, that's close to us. On July 27th and 28th, and I'm assuming that's a Saturday and Sunday. It'll be hot then. Murfreesboro's up in the mountain though, so that won't be too bad maybe. Hey David. David's another great channel. If you guys don't follow him, you need to check him out. He's got some awesome fish, great videos. Am I in live chat? Yeah, I know it just says live. So guys, I don't even know if I'm in live chat or not. Hopefully I am. Candy took her message back. That made my heart jump a little bit. I thought I'd done something else to you, Candy. Thanks, Recon. Ah, and what would those guppies be? I'm shaking my leg and I just realized it's making the camera shake. Thanks, David. The puffer over on the extreme right is new and I'm acclimating it to salt. It's been in brackish. And when it first went in here, it really gave my little dog face puffer down on the left there a rough time, but things have mellowed out after a lot of food and time. He's settled down. So that's what we're all watching, and then watching this 180 a little bit. Hey, BTW. Another awesome channel. If you guys don't follow BTW, check it out. He's got puffers with discus, and I mean, it really flies in the face of the puffer reputation. I mean, a lot of puffers, if you give them an opportunity, a chance, they'll be good community fish. They're like other fish, you know, they're gonna have platinum albinos and Japanese bluetails. Okay. But yeah, puffers are very intelligent, and somebody I know that keeps them calls them crybabies. I don't agree with that, but usually when they're more assertive, you see them acting out. What did Rose say? I missed it, and I'm scared to scroll the chat back down. I might make Bob a mod or something. You never know what I can do. I'll go next time I go there. I'll be unmodded. Low battery, low power mode. Will it still let me stream? Yes. Read it to us, Ginger. Read it loud. Catters Aquatics. God, keep your hand out of there. At Catters Aquatics. So you, Bob, James, and I are riding with you. Am I correct? To next weekend? Yes. It'll be the four of us. Yes, it'll be the four of us going down. It's about a 2 hour and 45 minute drive from here, which is real drive time, but we gain an hour on the way and we lose it coming back. How many are in here, Reels? I think 6. Yeah, 6. With that new guy, it's 6. He was doing that in the store too, and I thought he just wanted attention, which he might, or that he was hungry. He's definitely not hungry. Yeah, I've got lioness, and then I've got the little smaller puffers, the green spotted or the emeralds or whatever they are. I bought them as green spotted, and they came from 1, 2, 3 different places. That must be weird to travel such a short distance, but still hit a new time zone. Yeah, well, every time we go to Nashville, it's the same thing. We lose an hour, no, gain an hour, but then lose it coming back. So it's like it takes an hour to drive over there on the clock, which is really 2 hours, but 3 hours to drive back. I think that's right. I haven't seen Ginger or Tiffany on here. I'm assuming they got home okay. I know. It's Dharma. Those dogs are rowdy, huh? Those dogs are getting rowdy, aren't they? "73 likes. That's definitely a record on anything I've ever, any video or anything. Well, we just passed 2 hours. How about 40 people still watching? Dang, I sure want that watch time, and I'm loving just sitting here talking to you guys. How about we stop when we get to 1 hour and 30 minutes, which is like 6 minutes away? Because I'm quite sure you all don't want to watch me drain this tank down and refill it. Do you have any room? Watch out, Dharma, to fit a skinny 11-year-old boy with next weekend. Yeah, it's got 3 seats across the back. If you move that cup holder thing up, it's got 3 seat belts back in there, so, yep. Ed was wanting to sit on my knee today when I sat down, and I'm just too old for that, Ed. Jess was on earlier checking out Halo or something. Sounds good, however long you want to go. We're bored. Really? Are you bored? Bipolar? Where's that timeout? Well, I'm sorry, but this is the best show in the house right now. Cancel. Time candy out just for old time's sake. Well, I hate to abuse that. I'll save it for, he heard you grinning from ear to ear. Oh, good. Yeah, I don't see any reason he can't go. Now, I started to talk about that earlier and I got sidetracked. Imagine that. We're going down to meet, I didn't ever see Susan talk about it, so that's what happened. We're going, I got to keep going bipolar. All right. Thanks, Recons. They're trying to get a forum. It's like the founding meeting of that, a club going. So I assume that we won't be joining that since it's almost a 3-hour drive, that we'll just be kind of onlookers and information gatherers and, oh Jesus, whatever. We'll just kind of be there. I don't know how long that'll last. It's scheduled for 11 a.m. their time, Central Time. After that, we're supposed to go and visit Susan's local fish store. And she sent me a link to that. Of course, I'm scared to check it out, but it looks like a pretty unusual, unique store, and it has other things besides fish in it. Hey, what, Candy? Oh, speaking to somebody. Meet this Saturday. All right. Yeah, Jess was trying to test something out earlier, but then she wasn't on very long. The real MVP. Yeah, we just don't have anything really around here. I know there are the saltwater clubs. There's like an East Tennessee, a Middle Tennessee, and a West Tennessee, but I don't know anything about them. And most of my fish tube friends are freshwater. You know, there's that one in Chattanooga that's a small club, and I've not been. To a meeting. I've seen them on Facebook. It's the Chattanooga Aquatic Club or something. And I think that's probably chaired by Ethan, that has Fish Mania there in East Ridge, or right there in Georgia. And I've looked at some of those vids from that, and he's a real good speaker. He's asked me to speak there a couple of times, but I've declined. I don't know anybody but him there, and I'm just shy, so. But we definitely need to check that out, Ed. And they have swaps, fish meat swaps sometimes. Uh-oh. Something going on. But yeah, Ethan's very knowledgeable, and uh-oh, here we go. There's Linus down there. He didn't seem to see him that time, so I think he has established that he's the boss. Yeah, we're just kind of in a pocket here that my favorite marine snail, I don't even know if I could remember the name of a marine snail, Anthony, so I definitely don't have a favorite. There are only 3 or 4 kinds where I get them, and I could show you some of mine. I don't have any snails in here because of, oh, do we still have more than one Bob? Well, that's cool. Oh, you're watching the videos, okay. Cookville? Where is that in relation to here? It's not cold in that tank, for sure. Oh, that will be cool to see. Oh, Recon, that's rough. An hour and 30 minutes north, but we could drive 30 minutes or less to the Chattanooga one, Ed. Yeah, and that's like back road stuff too, I think. Cookville from here, I don't think that's interstate. Well, if we go to, I just looked, have the hours. Well, you need subs. What's your sub count out now, Brandon? Sorry, I can't make my leg be still. Tapping my foot. Oh, wow. So you're just 115. We need to get you on up, there. I think I was like there when everybody really started working on mine, and it just took like a month to get it. Thanks, Recon. I think I have the banded trochus. That sounds familiar. There aren't any in this tank, like I was about to say, because of the puffers. There were, but there aren't now. But in my 40 breeder and my 20 long, I do have some snails. But they're covered with green algae, so I don't know, Anthony. I honestly don't know. You know, I've just been keeping salt for a short time, so I claim ignorance on that. Oh, wow, that's too bad, Sean. Awesome, Reels. Talking about inverts, I'm looking for I really like that red leg. I think it's a Mexican red leg marine. Hey, Linus. You got stuff all over your face from hitting the substrate. Stuff sticking to you. Turbo, yeah, I love the turbos, yeah. Yeah, and I do have some turbos. I do. Speaking of snails, there's a snail sticking up right there, right in the middle. What kind is that guy? Or is it a snail? That's a crab. That's a red leg. Yeah, he's settled down. I just don't want to repeat performance. That's a red leg there, because I never get the, are they blue legs, the other ones? I always like to get the red legs for some reason. So there are quite a few crabs, but no snails in here. And unless that new guy starts eating them, yeah, it's definitely a crab the way it's moving. I know there aren't any snails in here unless they're staying completely hidden. Yeah, we see you. Oh yeah, and vice versa. I think that they're a very good match, and I think they appreciate each other, Chewy. Well, but he can't go next week. Fingers, wood, crabs. Oh, you snuck up on me with that one, Brandon. Just trying to see what else might be lurking down there. There's those neon guys. I guess you guys can hear those dogs too. They're okay. They're just wanting my attention. They're all right. I'll feed them after I finish feeding the fish. And then I'll do the water change on this tank, which won't take long at all. You just what with your StreamYard? Oh, subbed. That's the best one to have, they say, Ro. What did we say? Yeah, that's a cool setup that Funk has with his betas. I am gonna give up and get me a, what's it called that you hold your phone with? There's a couple of them, but there's a couple that are, they're all called this one brand, but what are those things called that you hold your phone steady with? I'm gonna get one. I guess Amazon's probably the best place to look, or first place to look. Oh, the Angel's back up. Just briefly. Gimbal, right. Yep. GoPro. No, not a GoPro, but I think I may want a GoPro in the future, but we'll see. It would be really cool to do some in the water. Right, with stability control, gimbal. Yeah, that's what I need. I try not to shake, but you know, when you're so old you don't even leave fingerprints anymore, it's hard. They're pretty cool. Haley did that vid several months ago when she got hers. And also Lucas, he did one before that. They're really nice. Still 40 people here. Don't do what? Talk you out of it. Good night, James. Well, if he's a decent cook, Ro, there you go. Hey, Beta Time Stories. Yeah, we're just sitting here killing time, Beta, so looking at the same two tanks and I so wish that tank would finally clear up. It will. I mean, you just have to let it work through the process. Ed, you and Sean sure hit it off great today. I know you've been talking, but I didn't know that you'd ever met him. But you guys were really hitting it off great today. Peck Tech. And he stayed a long time too, and even went with everybody to the other store shopping. So he's a cool guy. His wife Holly's really nice too. I've met her a couple times. Yeah, well, you see why mine has it. I had green water in 2 tanks, and I'm so glad. I mean, I know it's great to have green water, but I didn't need any. Um, but my second one finally went clear after a water change yesterday, so I'm glad that's over. What's going on in here? I think the angel's getting a little miffed because I've got the light on, but it's going to be on a while. I saw the biggest pea puffer today I've ever seen. I had to really be sure that, uh-oh, Pam. But it didn't crack it or anything, did it, Pam? Well, that's scary. Ed, if my freshwater tank got into a fight with your saltwater tank, well, you've seen this new puffer in action. What do you think, Ed? What do you think? Shoot, I might have just timed Ed out. I don't know what I did just then. Well, those severums, you saw the marks on my arm from those severums. Just nipping at me, not wanting my arm down in there. They're not to be trifled with. The geos, I don't think can really hurt that bad. It's hard to beat a beak though on a puffer that's scared or mad, so I guess the saltwater would win it, Ed. None of the freshwater fish can take chunks out. Exactly, pushing those buttons. Yeah, I don't know if you saw earlier, but he was really going after Linus. But I'm glad I didn't take him out immediately, so we didn't have to go through that again. What's in that tank, Pam? What kind of fish? Pam, you need to do a tour. I can't remember a lot of your tanks. It's been forever. I can go back and watch your videos again, but you need to do a tour. It's 2 or 300 watt, I can't remember. I think it's a 200, and then over in that one you see I've got 2 there. I think those are 2 200s. Well, remember this is a 125, but you know acrylic holds heat a lot better than glass does, so it's doing the job. But this one I had to add a second one, and I keep that about 78, 79. My heaters are one thing that I just really have got in the habit of checking every morning, the temperature and that the heater is functioning right. And of course, sometimes I get up or my hands are cold and water feels awful warm, but you know, I check it out. You can't always go by touch, so. Yeah, Candy's going to Aquashella. That would be nice, Deborah. I've got a couple of tanks to reset. I've got to finish the projects. Uh-oh. What happened, Pam? Uh-oh. I'm not going to answer those dogs because then it'll just be a back and forth, and there's no reason to. I am ignoring them, but they're fine. They are fine. They're all together and they have water in their beds and their toys, and they just want attention, but they're fine. They all fall asleep with me in the bed watching YouTube. I wish I could go to one. Ro, take me with you. Or Candy. This is not the voice that I use, Carrie, when they're acting out. They get rowdy, and you can see them smiling. I say, that's enough, and then they'll bark again, and they smile. They don't get a lot of company, but they love Zach and JC. They came by today and rode with me to Knoxville. So they got to see them twice today. The little one, Yazzie, that's in the video that I made with Lolly, the cockatoo, and can't get out of my app. I forgot. Oh, Yazzie. He really loves JC. He loves the blonde-haired ladies. He does. How big is that tank? Sorry. Hey, Dharma. I know. Did you build it? The one that we're looking at is acrylic, and no, I did not build it. I bought it, I ordered it, and it's, the brand on it is, I don't know if you can see that. I don't dare touch a light or anything or any buttons. It's Clear for Life, and it's supposed to be a better brand, I was told. Hey, Redfish, Bluefish, join us. We're just wasting time. That's all we're doing here, and looking at fish with a shaky hand. Let's see, did I answer? Beta. That tank is 125 gallons. It is acrylic. I did not build it. I bought it. Okay. Who would like to kill you, Ed? What are you talking about? I can't keep up. Isn't that what everybody says that streams? I can't keep up. Boston. I was asking about you just maybe 20 minutes ago, Ginger, if anybody had seen or heard from you and Tiffany, that I hoped you made it back okay. So y'all didn't have, it was uneventful, I hope, going back. Thanks, Carrie. Yeah, I was. It was really good to see you again today, Ginger. I got the wrong fish, Ginger, at the first place we were at the meetup. I was gonna get those platinum white or whatever, those solid white neon tetras, and I didn't look at them after I told them what I want, and they gave me silver tip tetras. Those fish are still floating too, I just realized, which is fine. I have a school of silver tips I'll put them with eventually. But the reason I'm streaming is that's the little puffer, you know, that I agonized about. And he had chewed through his bag when I got home, and I had water in the console of the truck, salt water or brackish water. It didn't hurt anything, of course. but I had to get him in some water, and rather than trying to calibrate and do brackish, I went ahead and put him in half salt with his brackish, and went ahead and just acclimated him over a couple of hours, and he's in full salt here. Well, he's fine, but when he went in the tank, he went after Linus. And I know that there's my little green spotted puffers down there, Ro, the ones that I was telling you about. Look how skinny those guys are, not. But he went after Linus, the dog face, and they've since, there's Linus way back in the corner over there, down behind the rock. But they're getting along now. I didn't. No, I didn't. Oh, you're asking Ginger. So that's all we're doing, and he's doing the same thing he did in the store, back and forth, back and forth. And I'm afraid to feed him anymore. He's really stuffed himself. Well, this is one of them. The others are still in bags, but I'm sure they're fine. This puffer is similar, and it's going to be similar to the dog face. It'll stay under a foot. I think it said 8 to 9 inches in a tank. I don't remember exactly, Victor, and that's the truth. I just know that everything I read about it was what I wanted it to be, and but no one knew if it could go in salt, so I got it hoping that it could be converted over to salt. Yeah, there's that current over there, and he definitely figured that out. You see the hawkfish. Uh-oh. I'm down to 10% battery, so we're definitely down to just a little bit here. I wish I could see what the battery charge is on here without touching buttons. But anyway, the hawkfish, I guess he moved. He was sleeping over there, but I guess the Queen Angel is gonna sleep over the heater. Oh, Deborah, I've got 4, and they're little varmints. All right, I need to go ahead and feed these fish the rest of their foods so that they can get their water change. This is who's been sitting with me. Oh, there she goes. After all that meat. Are you gone, Chewy? Good night. Thank you. These, Victor, I feed them twice a day, every day. I overfeed, and I overfilter, and I overwater change, and I like my fish fat. If you look at them, you can see they're all chubby little fish. And I know all of the things about it's not good for them and all that, but I had a little poodle named Harry Potter. He was named after the very first Harry Potter book, and he passed away about 4 or 5 years ago. He was a diabetic and on insulin the last couple of years. All right, they're glad to have their flakes. Wow, just like a little racer. Yeah, it knows I'm feeding, so most of this he won't want to eat. But definitely the tang, the flame fin tang, is right there. Is mostly vegetarian. His fins are a little rough, but they're growing back. They really gave him a hard time. That's why I don't think I could add another angel. It was really hard to get him in here. Oh no, Pam, I hate that. You guys. Okay, now he turned around like he usually is. This is a blind fish that I hand feed for anybody new. No, I think this one would kill it, Chewy. I'm just giving these guys some flakes. Oh, cool. I just got some more chopras, I forget, last weekend, I guess, in Knoxville. I love those guys. No, it won't. Yeah, these are some big fish. Of course, my hand is closer, and that fish is a foot away, so. Oh, wow. Pam, is your heat electric? Or if not, do you have a backup? Phew. Hey, how about adding dory? I've got a dory in the other tank, in the 40 breeder. I've got some really pretty, I've got a tank that's a lot better established than this, but it's just a 40, and that's what I started out with. How about this, guys? My battery's almost gone on here, and I don't want to plug it in. Thank you, Ginger. I don't want to plug it in, and I do have to do this water change and get everybody fed. I hate to close it. We're at 160 minutes and 37 people still on here. That's just awesome. But how about this? I'll go back in the kitchen there, and the dogs will see me because they're back in the part of the house that I stay in. I mean, this is just a, what do you call it? 2 bedrooms on that end and a bathroom, and that's just all guest stuff, which nobody ever goes in there. We live in this other end of the house, so anyway, the dogs will be able to see me and they'll bark, so I won't be able to, you won't be able to understand me probably or hear me, and I'll show you the fish in that tank, the dory fish, and close out. So good night, everybody, and thank you so much. And yeah, we'll definitely do it. This was pretty painless to me. You guys were really, really nice, and I really appreciate you being here. Well, I'm sure it is. This is kind of odd, Brandon, but I mean, this is what I do. So if you guys like that, that's great for me. I will. Thank you, Pam. Thank you, Victor. Thanks. All right, guys, I'm going to go in and let you see Dory, and the Noahs will get awful, and I'll go ahead and end it then. Thank you, everybody. Good night, Candy. Here we go. Yeah, I've got a couple of tanks in here. What are you guys up to? Silly puppies. Silly puppies. Yeah. There's Yazzie. No. All right, Dory. Thank you, Deborah. I did too. There's Dory. This is a 40 breeder. A lot of dwarf stuff in here. These are all the fish. There's my favorite hawkfish on the left. These are all the fish that people all start out with. Candy knows this tank well. She's given me a lot of advice over the last year, especially the first couple of months. I remember one time, Candy, we said something in a stream about, I think it was in Dan's, and you said something about a frog spawn, and I didn't know that was a coral. There's a couple of my puffers in here, and I didn't know that was, and I was like, there are aquatic frogs that spawn, and he was like, that's my coral. I was so embarrassed. Oh, it's this one's already had the water changed tonight, so there's a story on that there. I've got another of your stickers, Pam, that I didn't stick on. I can't remember if I got that wet and was cleaning. I don't remember how I did that. But yeah, here's the front and all the glare. It's a dotty back. Those are gorgeous, but they're expensive. It's like a $40 fish. Well, I didn't know, but you were like, and we were both modding. I think it was Dan's stream, and you were like, that's a coral. You said something was, and I'm like, something's eating your frog eggs? And then the first time I saw the frog spawn coral, I'm like, duh. That was where I had those little, they've already moved to another tank. I'm surprised the puppies are being this good. This is a coral tank that I'm really working on to clean. You should have seen the algae in it yesterday. I've spent 2 hours on it last night, and I need to spend 2 more, but it looks much, much better. See, I've got to get all of that out, and it's by hand with a toothbrush. What did Recon say? I'm scared to touch a button. Oh, it was okay, Candy. It was funny after I realized what you were talking about. Been pushing buttons, yeah. Yes, that pulsing Xenia, I love that, and this is doing so good in here. I've got some decent corals here. There's another dotty back. And I've also got well, it went away. That little guy there is cool. That's only like a $19 fish there. He's really cool. And my Kenya tree is going to sleep. He's wilted down for the night. And I've got several little ones of that guy. There's one. That one was actually about this size when I got it. I can't believe this. Look how gorgeous. Dotty back. I've got a lot of fish in here. This only has a little hang-on back. Aqueon filter on it. Look how dirty. How dirty. But we're all like that, right? I don't think so. Well, it is Recon, but in here, hey Tiffany, I was just wondering about you and Ginger earlier, and Ginger was on here just a bit ago. What'd you say, Candy? Yellow tang would make quick work of that algae. Yeah, and I've tried to put that self in. That was a return to the store that closed, and they said it fought everybody, but it's really a little too big for this tank. There's a snail back there. Whoever was asking me, Anthony, about snails, there's a snail. Is that a turbo? I get so distracted. But yeah, it's not good with, it was great meeting you today too, Tiffany. I really enjoyed it. Loved getting the chance to talk to you. But yeah, coral doesn't like algae. So see, those guys would be open. I got about half of that out of there last night, but I really got a lot of work. And these guys are closing up for the night, so I got stung a couple times, but I'm not sure who stung me now last night. But yeah, this is very low current. You can see all that's coming in there from the filter. My rainbows are still in the bags. I'm glad that you knew what those were, Tiffany, because I really wanted more of those. This is a little better view. I've got to move that little empty tank. I've got a lawnmower blending in here, Candy. I thought it would do it, and it did for a while. But it just waits on me to put food in there now. There he is. You're gonna eat in just a bit. I've got a bunch of those little gobies in here. I think that's my only yellow one. Guys, I'm just amazed that those dogs aren't barking. And this battery will die any moment now. I guess. It did real good when I first put it in here. Yeah, I really need to get something that will eat it. There's the intake pipe. I didn't realize I must have knocked that off. I just did a water change on all the tanks in here. So there's this one. Yeah, it would have been great if you were there, Candy. It was great. It was really nice to meet everybody, but Rack especially, and of course it was he and James that put it together, and I thought it was a really great job. I had a great time. I don't even know what this is anymore here, guys. It's some kind of soft corals. They were doing great. I think I've got some snails and crabs in here. And then, oh, I didn't finish filling this up. Like I said, I'm in the middle of water changes. This is a couple little salt water behind all those salt streaks. Can't remember what's in there. There we go. These guys are too small that squirrel fish would eat them. I gotta go ahead and do the water change on the big tank and fill them up. All right. These little guys are my best friends now. It's Cobalt's babies. Mexican Turbo. Okay. We're not bothering your babies. Hey, pretty lady. Got so big. Ginger, this is what you need. It's about 50 of these. This one is, it'll go down even a little lower than that, and I don't fill it all the way up, Recon, so. Yeah, they are, and they're big enough to go to the store where their dad came from. But I just keep putting it off and letting them get bigger and bigger. They're really piggies. They put away a lot of food, but snails, people. There's your dad. He definitely lets her take care of them, and they definitely stay with her. They're definitely mama's babies. He's usually hanging out right there. Did he come out? He's in there. Just can't see him. Oh, they've really turned this tank upside down. There he is. There's Dad. There's Bo. Well, at this rate, Ginger, I'm going to have them. Now, the bigger ones I've got to start calling out and taking them to the store. I just hate to do it. See, some of them are getting really big. They're good eaters. She's fussing at me. Alright guys, is Chewy gone? I think he was asking, these are projects here. Those are the plants and stuff that I got to put in the tanks and in the lizards. Cobalt is huge, and for a female, look at that. And this is a 50-gallon fiberglass tank. Yes, she is. Look at her shape. She's fussing at me. She's a big one. She's not a foot yet, but she's a big girl. It's unusual for the females to be that big, I understand. Yeah, she's never been in a fight or anything, so she's got her fins. When they don't fight, they are pretty. She's fussing at me. May put my finger there. She'll come out of the water and bite it, but not really bite it. She wants me to feed her. All right, guppies, endlers. These tanks haven't been changed yet. Thank you, Ginger. Yeah, she is definitely that. Getting all that glare. These are Dan's fishes, endlers. Started with 2 pairs. Thank you, Candy. And these are some gorgeous fish. That's a 10-gallon with a sponge filter and a heater and a piece of a light. These are my mistake guppies. Hey, Jeff. Still got 1 pair. If you want, Ginger, I'll give you a pair. I know they sell for $85 and up into the 125s, but let me know if you want a pair and I will give you a pair. I can spare that for sure. I like those, Deborah, yeah. Thought about selling them, but I'm so tired of selling fish and shipping that I don't know. But this is just an angel fish Tetra tank now that all the Sevrums are out. Dirty. It had a water change last night, so. Next time we see each other, you got them. Do you want the traditional tail or the longer, like the swallowtail? That's what Dan was trying to go for. And I don't know if he stopped doing that or not, but I've got a lot of them with the longer tails. Those are the Pacu I got a few weeks ago there at Aquatic Marine. There are 2 in there. Well, I'm pointing at them on my screen, but there are 2 albino Pacus in there. And they will get big, and I'll have to do something with them, but not today. But this is a Tetra tank primarily. And all those Tetras are going to get bigger. The one on the left in the middle, they're kind of with a different pattern. Dan's going to be getting some more of those. And I'm going to be adding those to here. He had that one left that he didn't catch or didn't know he had. Talking about that one right there that's different. But he is going to be getting some more of those in. Not the most colorful fish, but they're fish that are fun to keep for sure. I've got to reset this tank. I remember, Pam, when I did this tank a few weeks ago or maybe a couple months ago, you said interesting tank, and it is. It's kind of just braided things out of it, and of course it's plastic because you can't, with those silver dollars, can't have any plants. I thought the battery would be dead, so as long as there's someone here, I'll let it run, and the dogs are staying quiet, which is unbelievable. Here are the Luke Roebuck Delta Reds. And I've still got a couple of killies I've got to get out of there. I'm sure they predate on the fry from these. I see 3 killies, the Golden Wonders. So, yep. Thank you, Chewy. Yeah, those are some nice mistakes, and if you look or go back and freeze it, there are 2 or 3 different pattern types in there, very distinct in the males. That's what they finally settled out. There's some really nice magentas. Let's see, someone named these for me a few months ago. I think they're salmon skin magenta delta tails. How's that for a name? Yeah, and that I stopped calling them, and this is what happened. Yeah, think about sorting them out and maybe selling some, or but I'm going to have to do something. And you see their babies, they have fry all back in there. And these are just 10 gallons in a rack, so. And like I said, these haven't had water changes. They'll clear up. I do 50%. Bob, what would you do with your guppies? What? I haven't done anything with them, Tiffany. That's what I'm just saying. I need to do something with these. They have, they came from a mistake. There's some of the American Dreams, the green delta tails, which are an IFGA showstopper guppy, and just a magenta male, regular magenta male, produced those, and I didn't get rid of them. These are not those same. These are the same fish, but not the actual fish. This is not the parents of those fish, but this is what the purebred look like. And Susan has these also. Susan, SLC Aquatics. So these are the purebreds here, and there's Pam's rice fish in there. Some of those. And yeah, it's the last 2 days recons, I know, because it's been down to 25%, then 10%, and it'll stop on us in a second. There's from Bob the little killifish. I forget what they're called. I'm standing on my head too, that doesn't help. But it looks like I've only got one adult male in these. I got these from Bama Aquatics when he took his fish room down. They were little fry, but look at that tail. So that's part of what those mutts have in them there. And the axolotls, they're little beggars. These guys are real interactive. I can feed them, hand feed them. There's Ed's guppy grass. Probably need to put these guys, these were tiny babies, but they're not anymore. I guess the battery, you're right, Recon, it's the battery that never dies. Never dies. I'm about to run out of fish in this room. Let's see, these are the 2 mil, a tank that has 2 mil betas. Never can do that. You know, you're not supposed to do that. Actually, the long fin one tried to bother the short fin one, but it could never catch it, so it gave up and they get along. But these are grow outs, Ginger, from Bob Steenfott. There's some of the Parkinsoni. Thanks, Chewy. What'd you say, Ginger? Oh, there is so much to learn, and that's every day I learn. You see those Parkinsoni, they're firing the water, they're starting to get their orange fins, but they're in there with the Bosemani. I've got quite a few of them. Of course, they hang out in the openings. That Bosemani's colored up nicely. These guys all want to be fed. That's definitely Java moss. There are some plecos in here somewhere. That's the fish that I got Ed when we were at that brand pet store in Knoxville. I don't remember the name of it, but the manager keeps fish and he gets all these oddball fish. That's where I got my bitterlings from that live with the Fajaka. But this is the fish that I thought was so unattractive, and it was in a container that you couldn't even see through. It wasn't clear. Oh, look at him blowing up at the camera. And look what he turned into. Wow. Beautiful too. JC that came with me today, she got her a beta. He is a pretty beta. I have several of them. And I try to keep them in tanks. Let's see, I know something I didn't show you. Ed, this is that box of supplies from the fish store that closed. There's tons of stuff in there. And if you want to go through there and see if there's anything you can use. This was a green water tank, like I said, till yesterday. There should be 2 betas in here. Seeing the 1, but I know I saw 2 yesterday. Swordtails and platties. Guys,